Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Mickayla Fatovic, and I am the broker owner of Elite Class Property Management and Real Estate Company.
And I'm Tammer, Fakhry, broker owner of Elite Mortgage. We're going to be talking to you guys about self-management versus professional management of your properties.
So guys, we want to help you figure out whether you should be doing self-management on your properties or if you should let a professional handle it. So I'm going to let Tammer start on this because he has been a gangster in the investment world for longer than I have.
It's just a baby.
So why don't you tell us what you have done, what you think works the best, and why or why not you feel that way?
Okay, so I'm going to give everybody's favorite answer, which is it all really depends.
Wow.
Yeah, it does. It really depends. And let me explain why. So I've done both. I've done the self-management, I've done the professional management. When I first started out, I was doing a lot of self-management, and I realized very quickly, not necessarily the right way to go when I'm trying to expand. When I started out in investing world, it was myself and one partner. We had a couple of investors that came in with us. We put our money together and we started working on it. But my partner and myself were the ones who were really running the business. And it is hard when you are looking for properties, trying to go look at properties, especially for us, because we were out of state. We were looking for multis. You are doing your analysis, you're working with the banks for the financing, you're doing, there's so many pieces and parts, repairs, upgrades, improvements, value add work, whatever it might be. So there's a lot of moving parts to real estate, depending on how you want to do it, right? And so when you're in expansion mode, it's hard to do that and also have to worry about getting those phone calls because there's a problem with the garbage disposal or the toilet's backed up and then you have to stop all this other stuff you're working on to call the plumber or call this person or that person, electrician, or so on and so forth. But again, I say that depends because we were in the mode of we want to grow, right? We want to grow quickly. We want to get, 200, 500, 1,000 doors that we're owning, and we own ourselves. And so we had a massive expansion plan. If you're the kind of investor who's looking at, I want to buy one condo, I want to buy a townhouse or a house, maybe my entire portfolio will be like 3 or 4 properties. If it's local, maybe self-management's for you. However, again, even when you only have 3 or 4 houses, you're still going to get those calls, right? You're still going to get the calls with the problems and the issues. And the question is, do you want to be that person getting a call at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday? Like, I got a problem. I need someone out here to help, fix this thing. So not to say that you are going to be the one to run out and fix it, right? You might be like, I got to call somebody and it will not be till tomorrow, but you're interrupting your family time, you're interrupting your downtime, you're on vacation, you get that call. Like, it doesn't stop, right? So, but again, there's a cost to having a property manager. And it really, in my opinion, is worth it. Like, overall, it's worth it. That's why I say the answer really depends on what your plan is, where you're investing, and what your long-term goal is around doing this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. When I first started in management, like, let's forget about the history of wherever I come from. When I first started in management and I had like 5 units, it was so easy. I was like, oh, well, this is the easiest thing. I don't understand why anybody would ever do the management. And then I got up to 50 units. And like right now we're basically at the 50 unit mark, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I have to upgrade the software, had to get like a receptionist, now there's so many departments within my one company. Like, we ended up having to create so many different like levels inside of the company just to be able to make it efficient. And so I wasn't receiving 20 calls on a Saturday at midnight just because like that happens. And when it rains, it pours in the management world. Like, you have to expect basically everything to be timed up together.
You're the one who deals with things like evictions if it's needed, or you're the one who deals with screening the tenants before they even come in and actually meeting with them and interviewing them. And so why don't you talk about some of that stuff? Because I think the bookkeeping around, like, the books, Yeah, again, if anyone's ever seen any of our other videos, you guys know how much Mickayla loves numbers.
Yes, I love that. So we have to, at the beginning, we have to do all of the pre-screening for the tenants. We have to basically meet with them. We have to do the before move-in walkthroughs. We document any imperfections or repairs or maintenance prior to them moving in. We document the property before the property gets rented. We go through the entire collecting of the move-in expenses and the costs and helping the tenant become acquainted with the rental. So imagine for the first 2 to 3 months, we're on nonstop with one tenant. Now, if you have 50 tenants, and there's 2 adults in each household, it kind of gets a little bit crazy sometimes. But we literally do anything and everything that you can think of in the retrospect of pre-screening, talking to the tenants. Whenever the tenants have a silly question that they could probably figure out on Google, they message us. It's everything and anything that the tenants are going through, we're there with them, regardless of how minimal it is or big it is or really anything. And we handle it to the extent of where our clients want it. So if our clients want a completely hands-off experience, we might even be paying for the repairs. We might be doing the full hands-off package where our clients don't even really have the opportunity to be okay, this is the person that I'm approving. No, you approve it. And we'll approve the applications, we'll approve the tenants, and we also deal with the evictions, we deal with the notices. It's a nonstop rotating door for us.
And then when people leave too, you still gotta go back and paint and repair.
Yeah, we have to bring in the cleaning department at our company, and we have to go back, we have to do another walkthrough, document the house conditions, we have to return the security deposit. And you have to remember that every notice and every deposit and every technicality with tenants is very, very strict and restrictive. So it's if you
regulated. It's actually regulated. It is regulated by laws.
Yeah, it's regulated very, very strenuously too. It's not it's just oh yeah, you just have to collect the deposit and throw it into an account. No, that's not it. You have to make sure you're not commingling. You have to make sure that you're returning it. You have to make sure that you're notifying them where it is. If you move it, you have to notify them. And it's all designated by dates and times. And any mistake with the dates or times comes back and haunts you. So it's when you have a professional who has to deal with this on a daily basis, whereas a self-manager that only has one unit has no freaking clue. It's kind of you get that experience. It's a very hard job. And if you're expanding and you're getting units routinely, you have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 20-year plan, and you're getting a property every year, or maybe 2 or 3 or 20 properties in a year, it adds up very quickly and it becomes very crazy and chaotic. And if you don't have a company to deal with it, it's just oh my God, what did I get myself into? Now you're potentially getting sued, and it's just a huge thing.
So it's interesting though, because all those things that you were talking about earlier, a few minutes ago, all those processes and steps and things that you're constantly taking care of, right? Imagine having to do, because that is a full-time company job. It's not even a full-time job. It needs an organization to do that. And if you're in I'm still buying and I'm still acquiring and I'm still trying to grow and I want more units and I'm trying to get to this, I'll talk in terms of doors, because again, I'm more around the buildings now. It's I want to get 30 doors this year. I want to get 20 doors this year. Imagine trying to, you're still out there looking for deals and doing your due diligence and doing your underwriting and you're still dealing with this nonsense, right? Because again, when I have a 10-unit building or a 20-unit building or 30-unit building, it's not 100% occupied. I'm constantly, there's churn, there's constant churn. So again, it is worth the value that you're going to be paying for, because am I doing a full-time job of being a business, a real estate investor? Or am I doing the full-time job of being a property manager? They're two different things.
Yeah,
and they are
you can either be an investor or you can be the manager. And when you get up to the extent of what you're talking about, the 20 doors, the 30 doors, the 100 doors, the 1,000 doors, you're not going to have any time. You do not have time, and you have to have multiple workers on call all the time. This is not a I'm just gonna do it all by myself and that's it. Like, no, you have to have a crew. If you're at least gonna, like, I don't know. It's just that I think that once you get into the bigger units, you should definitely have a manager at all times.
You know what we didn't even talk about? And so we're talking about in terms of, the funny thing is we're talking in terms of things like long-term rentals, right? Like month to month, like people who are in year leases. We're not even talking about Airbnb or vacation,
Forget
where it's like the
Airbnb.
constant churn is always there, right? Good luck self-managing that.
Oh my God, we do that, right? It's not impossible to do like the smaller end units, but it's just like eventually you're gonna get to that point where it's just like, why the hell are you self-managing? Like you're supposed to be sitting back and collecting a check, not managing your properties, and that's just about the whole expansion thing, and mindset. But Airbnbs, especially even like corporate leases, oh my God, I'm dealing with like a nightmare corporate lease, a nightmare long-term renter. And I have like the Airbnb side is like peaceful for once, which is very weird because usually the Airbnb side is like chaotic for us. And it's like very like there's nonstop. It's not, you always have somebody checking in, you always have somebody checking out, you always have the cleaners going in, you have to document the cleanings every single time before you check out, check in. Like it's a huge process, like so much more hands-on. And if you're not local, I don't recommend doing it.
Oh, no, that something like that at a distance, good luck.
Yeah.
But interesting, you said mindset. Maybe that's something we should need to get into at some point.
Yeah.
Is the real estate investing mindset? Because I think if you are thinking I should do self-management, then you're not mentally in the right place for what we're talking about, right? So
No, you're not. And unfortunately, a lot of it, like I've seen this time and time again. Like I run into the homeowners or the investors who gathered like 4 properties, 5 properties, like single families, maybe a couple duplexes. And they come to me and they self-managed it. And that's where they stop. They don't grow from that.
yeah,
Because that's where they are and that's what they're consumed with. And that's something you have to realize is if you're going to be consuming your time with self-managing, you're taking away from expansion. You're taking away from growth. You're taking away from all of these other things that you want to potentially do with your life. And you're losing time with your family. You're losing times with your kids. You're losing times doing whatever the heck you enjoy doing outside of this. Like you are literally giving up your life for it. And
right.
if you do that, you're not able to go and expand into the 1,000 units, get into that. Like self-managing is a very closed off mindset. It's sad to say, but like for the first 2, I understand. But I'm saying if you don't ever get out of that mindset, you're never going to grow. It's just the reality of it. I've seen it a million times.
Absolutely true.
So, I mean, the nice thing about like our like company, right, is that we are in Florida. We're coming to New Jersey like very, very soon, and eventually maybe Georgia and 100% Pennsylvania. So
Yeah.
we're going to be everywhere very soon. And yeah, we're always here to help everyone.
You guys have any concerns, any comments, leave them below or reach out to me and Mickayla directly. Our contact information is below also. If you're looking for a property manager currently in Florida, soon coming to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and potentially Georgia, reach out to her. Potentially reach out to her. She's awesome. I have worked with her in the past.
Yeah, you can also reach out to Tammer too. He'll help you. He's pretty cool.
I'll help you buy those properties, commercial, residential, doesn't matter. I will help you get them done in finance. So anyway, looking forward to seeing you guys soon. All right.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.